with the justification, it's either for the children or it's for the security of the nation. So the people who are doing these regulatory controls, they're doing it by patting themselves on the back, and they're receiving praise from people who think, wow, you care so much about American people that you want to help out. You want to help with security. Well, when I hear security nowadays coming from the government, I think regulation and control, because that's what so much of this talk is bringing.
There's a lot of good news, though. We always talk about Hollywood being so corrupt and evil. There's a libertarian, neo-conservative, but not in the neocon way, but a new conservative movement that's more constitutionally based. It's actually a return to the paleo-conservatives. It's come out in the news that there are secret libertarian and conservative, quote, societies in L.A. They're not really secret societies. It's that you'll lose your job if it comes out you're not basically a communist. I mean, I've had Hollywood people tell me I had to come out and support Obama or I wouldn't have gotten this new contract or I wouldn't have gotten this TV show, but gee, I hate him. But I went and saw The Giver last night, anti-abortion, libertarian, anti-drone, anti-collectivist film. Very well done, Jeff Bridges. So many of the films I see now, Man of Steel, the list goes on, actually have the Winter Soldier, Captain America, absolutely pro-liberty view, describes how criminal elements are hijacking the government. So there's a lot of good signs as well. Rand Paul has come out against the police state. We've seen a lot of the so-called left coming out against it. We've seen a lot of sheriffs and police chiefs saying they don't want to dress like stormtroopers. And so we're seeing some departments actually learn about soft power and go back to actually having a good relationship with the public, while we see other departments going the other way. So I see a battle for the heart and soul of this country going on right now.
That's absolutely right. And that's a big reason why I wrote this book also. I think if people are educated to know all the different areas that we're being attacked, people will be outraged and they'll want to act. Because I truly believe that most Americans love their freedom, they're patriotic, they believe that the Founding Fathers created this nation on the principle that our rights come from God, not government, that they're, really upset with how the Obama administration is taking control and power away from the people and doing it with such an elitist, arrogant attitude. And I think people just need to know that, what you were just describing is true. There's a lot of optimism. There's a lot of hope still. And this still is our nation. It's a nation of, by, and for the people form of government, which means we get the chance to boot these people from office and we can stand up and, our voices are very powerful. And if we want our freedoms back, we can certainly take them.
We've got some bad news. I had Joe Biggs on just about 25 minutes ago and predicted that you would end up having police or the National Guard, especially the National Guard, because these are kids wearing Berettas on their side. Joe says he's never seen people this young in the Guard. They have literally sent the absolute newest recruits there with some very unsavory rabble-rousers that are burning buildings down and really stirring things up and attacking our reporters and other people. And now the police department has tweeted. We'll put it back on screen, and I will read this for folks. NBC News, officer involved in shooting outside Ferguson. A police officer was involved in a shooting Tuesday in St. Louis, about 3 miles from where Michael Brown was shot and killed in the turbulent suburb of Ferguson, police confirmed. There was a heavy police presence at the scene, and police marked off the intersection with yellow tape. St. Louis Police Chief Sam Dotston said on Twitter that the suspect had brandished a knife at police. Further details were unclear. Here is the Chief of Police tweet. Officer involved shooting in the 6th District. Suspect brandished knife at officers. No officers injured. Investigation is ongoing. Man, this is deteriorating very quickly. I talked to a lawyer who I know in St. Louis who deals with the police. I talked to another lawyer in Kansas City who's formerly lived in St. Louis that I know, and they predicted when I talked to him last weekend that this was far from over, and they both said, bottom line, it's going to get a lot worse. I'm concerned about this spilling out in the rest of the country, and I wish it would have been handled better earlier by releasing the full report, by listening to the community and not being heavy-handed. And I wish those thugs using Craigslist hadn't come into town and looted as their excuse to steal. This is so horrible for the inner city communities and everybody else. It's just a terrible situation. What's your gut tell you is going to happen?
Yeah, I think, there are some real strong demands that the officer be charged with some type of murder rap. And if that doesn't happen, I do agree that the violence is going to escalate. I think that's kind of what everybody's waiting right now to hear on. As far as the spillover, I believe I've already seen reports that it has kind of seeped out of the streets of Ferguson.
Yeah, L.A. and New York City, yeah.
Yeah, and spilled into neighboring communities and so forth. And, you name them right. They're thugs. And, the thugs that come down and invade his community as justification to steal and loot and so forth, they should be thrown in jail as soon as police can identify them. The good news is a lot of their faces are captured on video.
But most of the time, the government doesn't want to track them down. They're too busy rubber bulleting reporters who are doing nothing, literally doing nothing. Our reporters are not antagonizing the police.
Question: could too many GMO foods and toxins be overloading your digestive and immune systems? Answer: yes. If you're searching for a powerful detox that's gentle enough to use every day, use Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic that uses good bacteria to suppress pathogens and gently eliminate toxins from your body. A healthy digestive system will cleanse and remove toxins, support weight loss, improve absorption of food nutrients, and aid in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro-EM1 is made with only non-GMO and certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is dairy, soy, wheat, and gluten-free. Pro-EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro-EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Also available through Amazon Prime. Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Life's getting better.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
You've been hearing about the in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right for months now. Have you invested in yours yet? As you know, we live in a politically and economically troubled time. You should be preparing for an uncertain future today. Right now is the time to start freeze drying your own food so you can become self-reliant and less dependent upon others. To invest in your own home freeze dryer, go to harvestright.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Again, that's a home freeze dryer from harvestright.com. And be sure to mention this ad to save $200 through the month of August.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now. 1-800-463-7479. That's 1-800-463-7479. 1-800-463-7479.
Continual coverage about what's happening in world news, the Middle East, so much more tonight on the Nightly News, 7 o'clock Central. But Ferguson is a microcosm of the rest of the world and our country. This march towards a high-tech Orwellian grid is happening everywhere. And police states never bring security. That's always done because the establishment has decided to go the route of tyranny, not prosperity. And all of the things that are being deployed against the population here will end up being used against veterans, gun owners, and people that don't have criminal records. Because we are the plums of the establishment. They want to milk us down to nothing. The book is available at InfoWarsStore.com. Cheryl Chumley, Police State USA, How Orwell's Nightmare is Becoming a Reality. And even if you already know about most of this, it's important to give this to your police chief, to your county commissioner. We can turn the tide. There's a major movement of police chiefs and sheriffs and others. Look at Detroit. When they have an officer-involved shooting, they just release the information. The police chief tells the citizens, go out, get guns, defend yourself from thugs, and the community works together. And now their crime rate has gone sky high, starting to go down. So that's the answer, is not an us against them mentality. But sometimes you got to hit rock bottom before that happens. We'll do a little bit of overdrive and take your calls for Bella, who's been holding like a trooper, and Chris and others. But again, the book is available at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Another shooting in Ferguson just in the last 30 minutes. Our reporters are about to be on the scene, and I will go into overdrive while I take your calls to see if they can get in place and give us a report on what's happening. But you were finishing up by saying there is an idea here that somebody needs to get in trouble and that this officer needs to get indicted for something. But if the man charged him and attacked him and then ran back and he shot him, and the witnesses said he shot him in the back. That's not true now, according to the independent autopsy. There are a lot of witnesses coming out. I don't think we know the truth because police have been caught lying so much they've lost the moral high ground in many cases. But I think it's leaning towards the officer's story right now. And so you can't just indict him to stop rioting. I don't think there's any moral dilemma here. But at the same time, with a lot of these crowds, it seems like there's agitators in there that just want to stir things up. Where do you think this is going?
Well, let's not forget that Eric Holder has sent, plenty of agents on the scene from 6 different departments within the Justice Department to root out how police may have crossed lines. And he made that rather inflammatory statement from Martha's Vineyard where he talked about how police, if they had a more diverse police department, it would inspire more trust in the community of Ferguson. So if you look at the Justice Department statements, it seems a little bit alarming that when they're the ones in control of performing the 3rd autopsy and where they're taking such a heavy-handed presence on Ferguson soil, which is unprecedented for a federal agency, it raises some red flags about whether this is going to be a tainted end result for the police officer.
Meanwhile, DrudgeReport.com has our article out showing the CNN clip of somebody holding up an ISIS sign. There are a lot of people that think ISIS is really cool, mainly in the black Muslim community in this country, and that's scary as well, that our borders are wide open. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Cheryl Chumley, great new book, Police State USA, great to wake people up. Pretty darn scary. Overdrive's coming up right now. Infowars.com/show to find the free feeds or the podcast. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor just won't quit.